Pepe, we got a show this morning. You're going nuts. The volume's way too loud for people. They're gonna go away from the stream because you're partying. I'm cutting you off. He's partying it up, Pepe. Let's get into this next video. I'm telling you what. What a day we are having here on DG360 as videos continually get pulled by YouTube for what I consider free speech. So who knows what's going to happen to this highlight as I put it out there to YouTube. They're probably going to pull this as well once this lands on the channel. But let's check this out. It looks like I might get mad here. Wow. It looks like I might rant here. What a change. What a change pace from the morning that we've had. It seems like somebody's got a video out named WhiteLight. He's a WhiteLight. And the title is Star Citizen dash any day now TM. So here's a guy who's upset that it's taken so long to get Star Citizen out the door. I cannot wait to hear what this guy has to say. It looks like we're weaving a never-ending story tale. I mean, like, this is pretty inventive how he's starting this up here with fucking Columbo. You know, I loved Columbo. My grandma used to sit and watch Columbo. I was just a child, and I remember she had one of those TVs with the old wooden frames around it. And you know the shows that she would watch on it? Columbo, Magnum PI, Perry Mason, and who is the lawyer? The Southern lawyer with the white hair. If anybody gets that, you get bonus points for remembering that show because I can't. Matlock. Those were her jams. Those were the shows that she watched. She loved those shows. All right, let's see what this guy has to say.
Humans are driven by stories. We daydream a third of our lives. We spend another fraction with fiction. Our cultures are founded on myths. But why? Why did we become this way? Well, according to theory, it's because stories teach us what mistakes not to make. An imagined reality is like a computer simulation where fake people called characters fail, so we don't do the same. Stories feel empty without a point because they exist to be learned from. But sometimes, a story can be more than a lesson, because sometimes an imagined reality can be preferable to our own. And we tell stories not just to learn from, but to live in. Fantasies. Dreams, where we can visit the stars in our eyes, where we can escape our oppressed,
we're really testing out that free speech, aren't we, Kill?
Adventure and purpose. And as the years have gone by, technology has found greater means to provide it. Vivid color, motion picture, interactive simulation. It was 1977 when Star Wars used the structure of ancient myth, aesthetics of new imagination, and the awesome potency of the cinema screen to reinvigorate one of the most powerful dreams the world had ever known. The one inspired by the 19th and 20th century founders of science fiction to let our imagination run free amongst what we had just learned was a whole universe of different suns and alien Earths.
Well, we're really building this fucking shit up, aren't we? I mean, like, no wonder why this video is 46 minutes long. Let's get to the point, bro. You know, my attention span's only so long. I mean, like, when you watch my videos, usually attention span wanes by now, and this guy isn't doing any better of a job than I am. So, you know, yeah, that's probably, you know, a little bit too TMI. Yeah. Nobody loves me. Everybody hates me. I think I'm gonna eat some worms right now.
Up there, anything was possible. Anything you could wish for.
46 fucking minutes.
A few years after Star Wars, technology had found a new way to prove it. What if you really could be in the pilot seat of an X-Wing? Creators wanted to...
Dude, I love this game, man. This was my jam at the arcade. You guys remember this? I don't know if you guys grew up in the 80s, but this was the shit right here, man. You sat in it. You sat in this thing, man. You were destroying these turrets. These were the little pylons off your X-Wing. These were the lasers off your X-Wings, and you would shoot those little bunker turret spots, man. That was the shit. I used to play this game till, like, my hands bled. Yeah, right. Oh, man, I love that game.
Just as bad as consumers, but the wilder a dream grows.
Welcome to the famine,
harsher it's reckoning with reality, and some were going to find that out the hard way. Imagine this, a fully dynamic universe running in real time.
Yep.
In 1990, as this designer put it, you could fire up the game, put your ship under AI crew control, and not do a thing. The game will literally play itself, complete with trading, combat, alliance changes, and exploration. You could fight in space, in air, and on the ground. Even a self-learning neural net was promised. This would make industry rival Chris Roberts' Wing Commander look like a prehistoric mammoth. Its name was Battle Cruiser 3000 AD. His name was Derek Smart, and marketers liked his ambition.
Is that
when
a real?
Smart realized
Can you imagine
just how
posing
far
for a
his dream
picture like that?
exceeded his ability, when it became clear that even 8 years of development hadn't been enough. His
Wait.
publisher was all out of
I gotta see
patience,
that.
and
I
Smart
gotta
realized
see that
just
list
how
here.
far his dream
Let's look over the
exceeded his
list.
ability when it became
Plastics, poultry, printers, radiation control units, silk. Gotta have that silk even in the future. Silverware, sportswear, tobacco. They're still smoking cigarettes in the future. There's no alternative. No such thing as vaping. That does say Vag Pack. I think we see. There's a Vag Pack in there.
Extreme Vag.
Yep. If you look right over here, this right there is the Vag Pack. If you can see that, that is the most pricey item. Obviously, the Vag Pack is 11,000. It's over 9,000. That is a lot of money for the Vag Pack.
Became clear that even 8 years of development hadn't
Getting
been
banned
enough.
for that.
His publisher was all out of patience.
Getting banned
in
for that one.
1996,
Just throwing it out the
Battlecruiser
window.
would launch whether it was ready or not. Unlike Chris Roberts, Smart didn't have the goodwill of 4 successful wing commanders to cushion his fall, nor a publisher kind enough not to ruin him. He became the first high-profile victim of many to burn up in pursuit of this dream. In 2016, No Man's Sky became one of the most anticipated games in history. It was never meant to be. It was an indie project, made by a humble studio of 20 in Guildford, but the excitement their fantasy created...
You know, this guy really did overpromise and underdeliver, but now in retrospect, watching him build Hello Games, and Sean has actually done a really good job. I'm not a huge No Man's Sky fan. I don't really particularly like the game, but kudos to him to adding free downloadable content, free DLC to the game, and continuing to build up on it. Like, I really think that's very commendable in the gaming world, you know?
outgrew their ability in months. Sony
So kudos
capitalized
to
on
Sean.
the hype, but Sean Murray and his team
Yeah.
could not deliver. No Man's Sky released unfinished, broken, and humiliated.
Oh, we get it,
Once,
dude.
the same dream even fueled the hype for Destiny. Way
Move
back when,
forward.
people thought the ships would be more than a loading screen widget. That its interconnectedness would take the form of a real universe, not just the suggestion of one. This has always been a particularly powerful dream.
This is absolutely one of those videos, right? You got a 45-minute video, and you put it on in your car, and you just drive. Like, you know, this is one of those videos, like if I was driving up to Cleveland to Christie's, this is the jam I'd put on. But then I probably couldn't even listen to it for that long in my car anyway. Like, it'd make me a little sleepy, you know? Just this dude's voice has got like an ASMR kind of sleepy voice. And by now, like, he's taken so long to make his point that I'm like, I'm a little frustrated, you know, at this point. There, you know, like, get some pep in your step, dude. Put something in here, you know?
But as Smart has shown, the history of the ambitious space sim has also been impacted by some particularly big dreamers. Ever since his first viewing of Star Wars in 1977...
I mean, like, listen to the people in our chat. Maybe we're exclusively different than a lot of people. Maybe we're like a minority. Maybe we're just a niche audience. But, like, look at this dude. He's got 400,000 subscribers. So, wow. Perhaps the YouTube algorithm just supports this type of content. Perhaps the YouTube algorithm supports this type of ASMR sleepy content. And perhaps the reason why it has 400,000 subscribers is that, you know, nobody sees anything else than WhiteLight. Perhaps WhiteLight is all that you can see. Perhaps WhiteLight is predominant on the homepage. Perhaps WhiteLight is everywhere you look. Perhaps when you close your eyes, all you see is WhiteLight. Perhaps that's what the algorithm does. I don't know. Maybe that's what it does.
Chris Roberts has found it difficult to restrain his passion. It inspired 1990's Wing Commander, a now legendary title that stunned the industry with its world and fidelity. But it was with his next game, Strike Commander, when Roberts' tendency to set his sights outstandingly high began
What's
to
up,
cause
Jamma? How
serious
you doing,
problems.
buddy? Did you
In the
enjoy
game's
your
manual,
$10
Roberts compared
Amazon
his
gift
plight
card,
to that
buddy?
of Francis Ford Coppola on the set of Apocalypse Now. In the spirit of wanting it all, we set out to design a game that would have more realism than the best flight simulator, better storytelling, more fun, and and more accessibility than Wing Commander, and the best sound effects, music, and graphics of any game ever created. Our biggest mistake was thinking that we could achieve all this in a single year. Our biggest setback was the realization that it would take more than two.
Loves this
Strike
guy.
Commander took 4 years of development. Most of the work died with the reboots it took to arrive at a final product. But it did arrive. It reached the end of its long and arduous journey to critical acclaim. And Roberts looked back on Strike Commander, humbler, to see a project that every member of the team could say, yes, it was 2 years of hell, but at the end we've created something special. Of course, it very nearly wasn't. The story of Strike Commander had a lesson, but when fantasy came back to put stars in Chris Roberts' eyes again, the lesson was forgotten. Freelancer, a universe of possibility, true freedom to forge a life amongst the stars. Its million-dollar trailer made tantalizing promises of seamless multiplayer integration, a persistent wild state, an AI-driven economic ecosystem so powerful it could run the virtual galaxy with or without the player's input. The game would literally...
This guy is so verbose. This is called verbose, by the way. This like, since we're speaking the proper English here, this guy is very verbose. That was a good game. Yeah.
Hey, yeah. I've seen this one before. Announced in 1999, promised for 2000. Freelancer released in 2003.
I love Freelancer.
After
I played
Microsoft
the shit out of
acquired
Freelancer.
the developers, Roberts was forced out, and the ambition cut down. It was a decent game, so I hear, but the story wasn't over yet. The dream was still alive. Over the past 20 years, crowdfunding platforms have made it easier than ever for aspiring dreamers to get a financial foothold. No publisher, no limits but the ones you set for yourself. And sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't. It's 2022. Star in the title of a crowdfunding project now makes as many eyes roll as it attracts, but most eyes are on just one of them. Bounties, trading, mining, farming.
Here we go. Wait.
Fighting, sneaking.
We're 5 minutes and 45 seconds into a 46-minute video. We're talking about Star Citizen. So we build up, we got the history, and we're 5 minutes and 45 seconds now, and now we're talking about Star Citizen.
Salvaging, boarding, racing.
I feel like I've been watching this 40 minutes already.
Modifying, delivering, fueling, housing, healing, hacking, exploring. In the most immersive world ever created, in an MMO environment, with a single-player campaign, with a celebrity cast, with the largest development budget in history, with 10 years of development, 10 years of controversy, and no end in sight. Star Citizen.
Yeah. Okay. We need to not talk now because of the music. What are we doing here? Any day now. This guy's gonna bitch about it not being out.
They're really quite cool. If CIG knew that before they started, we wouldn't be here. But Squarespace have always understood. The belief that a website is merely an archaic resume is outdated. It can be a blog. It can be a member-exclusive chat room, or a newsletter, or a hub for all your social media.
Oh my God, please. Are we advertising now at 5 minutes in? Jesus Christ, on a pogo stick. Dude, you got 400,000 subscribers. You think you need more support, you fucking glutton? Fucking glutton.
For your first purchase,
get out of here with your fucking advertisements. You got 400,000 subscribers, fucking asshole. Let's go.
Chris Roberts was back, certain now that where they failed, he will.
Dude, if I'm ever at 400,000 subscribers, right, which I never will be because I'm against the algo hates me and YouTube hates me because I have no filter and I just say it like it is. But if I'm ever at 400,000 subscribers and I'm fucking sucking up and like, give me more, be a supporter. Yeah. Oh, I need more. Like at that point, like you just need to tell me to quit. Just be like, DG, you forgot who you were. Like right now at the very beginning, yeah, we need that support. Help us. It's in the description. You want to go down below? We need all the fucking support we can get. Trust me. After what's just happened to us on YouTube, we need all the support that we can get. Okay? But if I'm at 400,000 subscribers and I'm putting in commercials and shit, and I'm like, yeah, you know, what I've got's not enough. I need more. Then tell me to quit. Thank you, Instigator. Thank you, dude. That was a good. I like your timing there. That was good, dude. Maybe this white light is onto something. Thank you, Instigator.
And where he failed, crowdfunding makes everything different. This time, Freelancer meets its potential, and that old dream finally comes true. Star Citizen, the implication of space, and the implication of a life yours to define. Star Citizen is just a simpler way of saying a universe of possibility, which itself is a simpler way of saying I want to escape into a world of meaning and wonder. It takes no more than a look at the game to realize what it's meant to be. The aesthetic of Star Citizen is an unapologetic reincarnation of the old but mighty pillars of sci-fi pop culture. Hotshot fighter pilots, megacorps, alien barbarians, the Empire, sandworms, shields, blasters, and credits.
Well, not really sandworms.
It's nostalgic,
but
not original.
Right.
It's just the dream, with a simple promise.
Dude, why are things nostalgic? I hate this criticism against Star Citizen. Things are nostalgic because they have a certain feel, a certain vibe to them, right? Yeah, it's pulling off all these different things, okay? But are we honestly going to say that Star Citizen has no originality? Are we really saying that? Like the art designers that are working there, and just tell every art designer that's working at Cloud Imperium that they have no originality when we talk about some of the vehicle designs. Okay, the Scorpius was pulled from the X-Wing. All right. Okay, there's some things that they're pulling from. That's very obvious. But everything, we're going to say that there's no originality at all with Star Citizen? Is that what we're saying? That's bullshit. That's bullshit, man.
It will come true. But will it? Hasn't history painted a clear lesson
I'm already
that it will
pissed
release
off.
a shell
I'm
of
really
itself
pissed
or not
off.
at all? Doesn't this story have an obvious lesson? The stakes for Star Citizen are high. The main character is compelling, and humans are driven by stories. We would all like a decisive, dramatic, poetic end, with a theme, with a point. But Star Citizen has been furiously controversial for a decade, not because the answers are simple, but because we'd like them to be, and they are not. Popular narrative pins this history of overambition on Chris Roberts alone, but
it's being criticized because it's an easy fucking target. Let's just be real here. You know, it's gathered a huge amount of attention and not nearly enough yet. And now you're just starting to see the larger YouTubers like Jack Frags and Ollie, who the YouTube algorithm definitely loves, making them bank. Because you'll see him everywhere you go. People didn't even know who Ollie was, and all of a sudden that's all you see is Ollie. And it's a giant target because it's pulled in almost $500 million now. So it's pulled in $500 million. It's a large, giant revenue fucking cash machine right now. And everybody's gravitating towards it. And now they're saying, okay, it's taking this long to get out the door. And that's because we asked for these things. We asked for all these in the original stretch goals. We asked for all these expansions to game design and game mechanics. We wanted it. The player base wanted it. I can't tell you how many times I've had to say this ad nauseum. We wanted everything. Guess what? Star Citizens, who are hardcore Star Citizens, we still want everything. We want every type of game mechanic this game has to offer because we have not had that experience in gaming yet. Why is Star Citizen successful? Because that is the reason why. Those are the reasons why. We want this game to have every game mechanic in it. And some people will go, that's impossible. You can't do that. No, we're trying it and we're going to do it. And that's the will. That is the person, that is the backer, that is the hardcore Star Citizen backers mindset. And we have been here from the very beginning, and we have seen so many people say this won't happen, that won't happen, dynamic weather won't happen, a planetary landing with no transitions, that will never happen. Well, all these things have happened. All these things have happened. You know, when people were saying these things aren't going to happen, we were the people that were saying they will happen. They will happen. And guess what? They happened. Right?
Also true, the space sim has lent itself to overambition since the 1990s. To the historian, $400 million is a sign the space sim cycle is spinning again. But to the faithful...
Yeah, and also I'm reading Explodo's comment, and Ollie does seem like a really nice guy, and Tomato's a great guy as well. And you can really see how the algorithm favors like super nice guys that, are mindful of what it is that they say, which is, a good quality to have, Explodo. I am just like right off the cuff, dude. I say it the way I feel it. And like people have always said that about me when they're watching the videos, that it's just like a really natural experience when they're watching my videos. They're sitting down. I could say something like, holy shit, I can't believe he said that. And as I watch the video, you know, I'm like, oh, wait a second. You know, like maybe I need to retrace something because now I'm feeling a little bit differently, because apparently that type of content isn't on YouTube. Apparently when people don't speak their minds right off the bat based upon what it is that they're feeling or that they're seeing, that is not on YouTube a lot. So, and then also Explodo said, that Ali felt bad that all the content creators are getting squashed by the algorithm. And, you know, and Tomato said, don't worry about it. We welcome you in the community. And that is super nice. And that is a nice thing, Explodo, between that interaction that happened, but it doesn't change the fact that the algorithm is actually doing that. You know what I mean? So like, you know, the meat and potato, the realness of that conversation is this: the algorithm is crushing people. The algorithm is absolutely crushing people, and that needs to be talked about. So I'm glad they had like really nice interactions. I'm glad that Tomato and Ollie got together on a podcast and had a really good time together talking. And I'm glad that they're really nice people. And I'm glad that that interaction was really nice. But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't change the fact that the algorithm is actually absolutely shitting on people, and it's choosing people. And that needs to be part of the discussion. So that's really the crux of the issue. And until that actually gets solved, a lot of people that are in this game right now, it's not easy for them. It's not organic the way that YouTube actually was meant to be when it first started. There's no more, this is why you're seeing these videos by WhiteLight, and this is why you're seeing more videos by Tomato, and this is why you're seeing more videos by Ollie, and you're seeing less videos by newer content creators, and also less videos by myself as well. Because when people just sit here and they're like, here's how I feel about something with no filter when they see it. Like, I'm sure a lot of people watching this video right now, the way they react to this video, they're probably like, oh, that's really nice. Or maybe they're not even talking at all. Maybe they're just sitting there like a big fucking puppet, and they're just like, he. Maybe those people are sitting there. Guess what? The YouTube algorithm loves you. The YouTube algorithm will take that and then they'll push that out there. So that's the content that you're going to see. That's what Explodo is going to see, right? So Explodo gets to see more WhiteLight. Explodo doesn't get to see like a guy who's sitting here who's actually commenting the way he feels as he's taking it in and as he's digesting it, because that might be controversial. That might be something that YouTube won't endorse because advertisers can't get behind that. We don't want to spend that kind of attention or money on persons that might speak their feelings and might say something that might be out of place or might be too true. Like, let's watch out. We can't endorse those people, you know?
Much money and that much time means any development hurdle can be overcome. The certainty doesn't exist to prove them wrong, and those were just the beginning. Truth is, Star Citizen is one of the most stubbornly uncertain topics I have ever looked into. Sometimes because there isn't enough information, sometimes because the information is highly complex, sometimes because moral grays are difficult. The result of either is the uncertainty that has kept this controversy alive for a decade. This video is my attempt at a crash course on the Star Citizen rabbit hole. We're going to focus on the problems of years and ignore the problems of the week. We'll remove uncertainty where it can be removed and explain it where it can't. There are some things I'll choose to leave out, some things I'll simplify, some things I won't know, and mistakes I will make despite my efforts.
I'm looking for the simplifications right now, WhiteLight. I'm looking for the simplifications.
So if you have anything to add, please don't hesitate to comment. Without further ado, let's punch the biggest question in the room. Why is Star Citizen still not out yet? Has the gravity of their cash...
Does this guy like to hear himself speak? I feel like this is the type of dude who loves to hear himself. He's like, hold on, before I get on and I talk about this, I would like to just listen to myself speak as I look in the mirror. Let me look into my own eyes. I am looking into my own eyes. Right now, what do you say? Do you talk back to me? Yes, I do. I say that you're beautiful. Why, thank you, reflection. You're beautiful too. Now, are you ready to brush your teeth? Yes, I'm ready to brush my teeth. Great. I'm going to take the toothpaste and I'm going to brush my teeth with my fine toothbrush that I've got over here. Let's brush our teeth with this fine toothbrush that we've got. Yes, shall we brush our teeth with this? We shall. Oh, my teeth are even whiter than they were 10 seconds ago. My teeth are even more dazzling than they were yesterday. And perhaps my teeth are even whiter than they were a fortnight ago. Yes, I said fortnight because I'm proper English. Also, now that I've brushed my teeth, I think I'll put on a sweater. I think I'll put on a nice autumn sweater, even though it's spring. I'll be different. I'll be dazzling. I'll be dashing. It's time to put on the yellow sweater. Yes, yellow. I'm not afraid to wear yellow. Thank you, Raining. Okay, this is what I feel. Am I... this is like, right. Am I the only one that feels this way? How do we not have a huge following of people? How are we so small right now in comparison to these other people? How are we not a white light for everybody? Why are we not? Am I jelly? Do I sound jelly? Do I put jelly on my toasties? I put jelly on my toasties. I'll eat it. I'm going to eat it. Enough. I'm done.
Stacks dilated time? Is feature creep to blame? And are backers responsible for repeatedly voting for feature creep? Those last two are common narratives, but reality is not so kind as to do us the mercy of a simple
Fucking
answer.
algorithm.
The truth begins in
Fuck you,
2012,
YouTube
when Star
algorithm.
Citizen had a set vision and a $500,000 funding goal on Kickstarter. There would be a single-player campaign and a persistent MMO, freelancer as it was meant to be. It's no surprise this dream would not be insulted by a mere $500,000. Pledges rocketed past every stretch goal, and with the support of community polls,
Stretch goals.
more were added until 65.
Do you see the amount of stretch goals we're going through here? This is why it's taking so long, because people want, and guess what? Beyond these stretch goals, more stretch goals. And they weren't even called stretch goals after this. They just hit so many of them where, do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? And people were like, yes, 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 yes. Here's the money. 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 The demand was through the fucking roof because people want an experience that they've never experienced before. Do you understand? And that's what they're trying to do. And that's why it's so complex. And that's why it's taking so long, because guess what? After all these stretch goals got hit, people wanted even more after that. They wanted even more and more and more and more and more and more and more. And guess what? That's just the nature of the beast, right? Because that's exactly what's happening. And that's why it's at 500 million right now. And guess what? I dare say it might even hit 1 billion. I dare say it. I dare say that it might hit 1 billion. Now, the fact that it'll hit 1 billion is... Okay, all right.
Features crept and backers approved, hence the claim we voted for this. Well, here's where things start getting complicated. We didn't. Who's we? We, as in a democratic majority of backers. True, the polls ended with a majority, but that was a majority of the fraction of backers who voted. 99%? 80%? 50%? Try.
By the way, apologies to my English audience. Apologies. This accent is not to portray somebody who is sluggish, had said a ponce. But like, listen to me. I love, listen to me. I want to go to England. I want to see England. I think it's a beautiful country. I think the YouTube algorithm loves the English accent as well, right? But I am by no stretch of the imagination trying to use this affect to make it as if everybody from England is, as Sluggish says, a ponce. That is not what I'm trying to... Sluggish, I love you, man. I love you.
10. And that 10 was no representative sample. Those who engaged were following the project the closest. They were most passionate.
If I don't lose weight, I'm going to start looking like... I feel like I look like that dude right now.
Another question.
I got to lose weight.
Exactly what dreams were voted for?
Like
the majority of post-vote stretch goals were such things as ships, armor,
like,
upgrades to already confirmed mechanics, and a few new star systems amongst the 100 already promised. So less like core functionality and more like extras. And for those still concerned by the possibility of these extras dragging out development, CIG had assurances. In his celebration of the 20 million milestone, Roberts himself explained that goals are carefully considered. We don't commit to adding features that would hold up the game's ability to go live in a fully functional state. And we must not overlook the pretense established the week before. In response to the question of Star Citizen's funding being complete at 21 million, Chris Roberts gave a clear answer: no. Because, in his own words, the more funds we can raise in the pre-launch phase, the more we can invest in additional content, more ships, characters, etc. And perhaps more importantly, we can apply a greater number of resources to the various tasks to ensure we deliver the full functionality sooner rather than later.
Yeah, but that was then. You see, that was then, and this is now. And you see, things change, and you know why. Oh, that money. Oh, that cheddar. Oh, the potential. Oh, the possibilities. So those comments... you know, retroactively, they don't matter anymore. That was said then, this is now. That was back when it was a few million, right? Now we're in the hundreds of million, okay? So, like, these were all admirable comments, right? But things change as the climate changes, man. You know, like when your surroundings start to change, so do your goals, your opinions, the direction, right? So this is what's happened. You can't stick this on a guy, these comments from literally 2013 and 2014 when the game only had like what, 20 to 30 million worth of funding, and now we're like 10 years later and it's got 500 million. If he had stuck to these, we would have a shit game. You understand? Thank you so much. Thank you, Mod81. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for your support.
Emergence Episode 5. Trailer out now, winking face.
Ooh, we're going to check that out. We're going to go check that out after this. Thank you, Mod81. Star Citizen Machinima. So anyway, thank you, Mod81. I super appreciate you, dude. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is this. A lot of people might look at the state of Star Citizen right now and say, well, it is a shit game right now. Well, I would absolutely have to disagree because I have a great time in the game and I have a good time with friends. I think it's a type of alpha right now that you can have a really good experience, a good alpha experience, as long as you're doing it with other people. I think that's the best way to play Star Citizen, is playing it with other people, because the learning curve is rather steep. And if you're new to the game, you probably want to get some help from somebody, okay? Or watch some YouTube videos and then get in the game and hop in the game that way. I think it's a great experience right now. I have a lot of fun with it, even with the bugs right now. It's becoming more and more playable by the day, by the week. That's why you're seeing larger YouTubers start to play this, because they're actually having a fun time playing the game. And here's another thing. We are at a $500 million point. We're at an inflection point right now, right? That we have to look at it and we have to say, okay, like realistically, we want this game to come out sooner rather than later because we're 10 years down the road now, right? But we've gotten up to this point because we wanted so many game mechanics put into this game. And the reason we've raised this money to the point that we're at is because we wanted so much out of this game. And so partially the liability and it has to be put on us, the gamer, because we are adults and we have to wear our big boy pants and we have to say these things are things that we wanted, right? We have to look at comments that Chris Roberts made over 10 years ago and say, okay, there has to be some type of like validation as to the reasons why he hasn't stuck to these comments over 10 years ago. And that's because a lot of us wanted a lot more out of this game and we demanded it from him regardless as well. He's also to fault as well, right? Let's be rational about this, okay? But the point of it is this. This is game development. It is messy. With a game of the scope and what we are trying to achieve in Star Citizen, this is what we should expect. This is the first large endeavor of its type, bringing in this type of revenue from the backers and the players itself. If this gets to the point where it reaches critical mass, right, and no more revenue can be pulled from the player base, which really we're seeing that it seems like it's inexhaustible at this point, then we have to reevaluate and say, okay, we've gotten to a point where we've hit critical mass, no more revenue is being brought in, right? Now we have to look at it and we have to say, okay, why isn't the game out? Like, there is going to be that point, by the way. It will happen. I don't know when, but if we continue this process, right, what ends up happening is people will eventually vote with their pocketbooks and they will say, nope, we're not going to continue to buy ships until we see results. That's the only time you're going to see gears start to switch. The only time when that question, that long, hollowed question through the history of time of this project is, when will a game get complete? The only answer we're ever going to get to that is when we start to see people shift gears and say, nope, I'm not going to buy this ship. Nope, I'm not going to start. Once the revenues start to slow, and maybe that'll happen, once we start to see revenue slow down and recede, that is when you start to say, okay, maybe we've hit that critical mass point, right? All right.
Later, Clear reasoning. More money is more game, sooner. Stretch goals then existed under the pretense that feature creep was no concern. The biased fraction of those who voted did so under false assurances. And if backers aren't to blame, then CIG is. Or more accurately, Chris Roberts is, the Greek god of overambition himself, because clearly features crept regardless. Not quite. It's true that features crept, but despite the narrative, feature creep is not the reason Star Citizen still isn't out yet. Some may consider why not obvious, but this is still a popular narrative because the basics are not obvious to everyone. With Star Citizen, there is a lot not to know. So let's be fair. The typical idea of feature creep requires typical development limits to burden and stretch, but Star Citizen does not have a typical development. For one, we're asking the wrong question. Star Citizen is out. It's early access. You can play a live build right now, which means there is no one big release for extra features to delay. It also means the correct question is this: why is it taking so long for Star Citizen to be good enough? Feature creep isn't the
is anybody else getting a migraine?
answer to that either. The most conspicuous problem with the build we can play is the lack of fundamental functionality, major game systems,
Physics,
stability and performance.
Physics grid.
Some imagine development resources sapped and stolen from what matters by a temperature-sensitive testicle system or something as insignificant as farming. But Star Citizen does not have a typical relationship with resources. When development began, there was the idea of enough funding, the idea of an end. But as the project became more successful, these limits disappeared.
I think we got an answer. You know what, Tony? I think he actually helped us out here. Tony helped us out. Let's go a little faster, shall we? Let's go a little faster.
Why not? With more resources, you can realize more dream, and you can be more employed. Star Citizen had become a theoretically infinite project, and if you can reasonably expect to make your dynamic scrotum system in 10 years' time, feature creep loses much of its meaning. So backers are blameless, and an excess of features could not be responsible for Star Citizen's sustained distance from the mythical standard good enough. We are lacking a stable, developed core. Why? Ask, and the common response suggests that developing this core is simply difficult because of the major technological hurdles presented by Star Citizen's ever-expanding vision. Not feature creep, scope creep. That is why Star Citizen has taken so long. Severe and unsanctioned growth of the fundamentals of the game. Chris Roberts was at it again, or at least he's who gets the blame. But is that fair? Well, kind of. I don't doubt he pushed it along, but as ever, this situation was far more complicated than what one man could be held responsible for. You see, crowdfunding is susceptible to a runaway effect, where the more money you make, the more confidence and excitement you generate, which makes more money, which makes more confidence and more excitement, and so on. But more money doesn't just mean you can do more, it means people expect you to do more, and they were about to expect a lot from Star Citizen. To a degree, CIG cannot be blamed for how much money they were about to make. They asked for more funding. No one expects to be answered with broken records. To another degree, they can be blamed for it. Switching from Kickstarter to selling in-game ships for extreme prices is more than just asking, right? Either way, Star Citizen couldn't just be the $20 million game. It had to expand. There were two options. They could deliver the original vision first, then the expanded vision later. This is safer. It takes far more time, because you're practically making two separate games. Controversially, Star Citizen chose the riskier option, to go straight for the expanded vision. Everything depended on CIG's ability to realize it, which meant problems the expanded vision was always going to face had become drastically more important. The first is simple. An expanded vision for a game like Star Citizen was going to take a very long time to deliver, which meant to keep up with
Oh, yeah, I'm done. I'm done with the video. I'm really done with it. Let's get back to the show.